one of the biggest hemorrhoids of 2024 is set to burst in 2025. Hate to be so graphic to kick things off, but we got to talk about, yes, Alyssa Mercante, who, remember guys, okay, she wasn't fired from Kotaku, she quit, even though everything is pointing to, yeah, actually, she was one of the 3 people that got laid off from Kotaku. She just wanted to get out ahead of everything in order to properly establish her brand, which is definitely flourishing at this point in time. She's leveraging all of the popularity she amassed last year and really putting it to good use, okay? Because as it sits right now, she's currently embroiled in this big old lawsuit that she is waging against Smash JT. And we've talked about this before. She thinks that all of the bad takes, okay, and all of the backlash from those that she suffered last year, turning a Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree review into her own personal Dear Diary entry, people laughing at that, her challenging other YouTubers to fights only to back down and denigrate their audience. He thinks that all of that backlash that she received from several other terrible decisions, also, all of them lay squarely at the feet of Jeff. Don't really see the connection right there, and she is in fact, because she kind of knows that she's not exactly in the strongest position, mostly leveraging said lawsuit as a means of intimidation and employing certain financial terroristic tactics, because Alyssa has several pro bono activists, attorneys trying to stifle free speech. But Jeff also has a very good lawyer on retainer and very deep coffers thanks to very generous supporters who want to see yellow gaming journalism finally brought to task. But perhaps we'll talk more about that lawsuit as it progresses throughout the year. But as it sits right now, we got to talk about Alyssa specifically. Alyssa Mercante is starting to actually scare me. Well, what is Jeff talking about here? Okay, Alyssa Mercante has officially reached the point of truly scaring me with her escalating tactics. After publicly targeting me with her lawsuit by doxing my address while redacting her own. Yeah, exactly. She put it out there for the world to see, while redacting all of her own personal information, which was also on there, so under the guise of saying, hey, look, I'm serious here, but not wanting to afford the common courtesy to the defendant. It's not an oversight. It was a malicious tactic. She's now moving on to insinuating that I'm somehow stalking her and deliberately going completely out of my way to let her live, or to make her live in fear. The cry bully tactic. Yeah, go figure. Oh, let me set the record straight. I'm literally out here just living my life with my wife and my kids out in California while running a YouTube channel focused on gaming. Anything she tries to insinuate out of that is nothing more than a mind that has clearly been rotten to the core. In her recent tweet, where she claims I showed up at an arcade she was at in San Diego just to intimidate her, is beyond absurd. In her own words, I didn't talk about it because it freaked me the F out. I posted I was at this bar when I was in San Diego. An hour and a half later, he shared a pic that he was there saying it was busy because of TwitchCon, which he knew I was attending. Did he really? He lives over half an hour away. Oh my god. First off, this bar is a barcade. Coin Op is one of my favorite barcades in San Diego. No one calls it a bar, unless you're trying to make it sound more insidious to the unknowing readers. But then again, this is Alyssa we're talking about, so par for the course at this point. And there he is, right up there outside of, the Coin Op game room in San Diego, California. I like the idea of a barcade. Never been to one. I don't drink, so it's not like I'm ever really searching them out. But the idea that arcades in some form or fashion continue to stay alive in some form or fashion, I do like the idea. The fact that Alyssa is framing this as stalking is completely insane. Yep, I don't plan my outings based on where she is or where she might be. She has me blocked on Twitter, and I don't keep up with her antics. Nobody does, really, until she does something so outlandish where everybody has to collectively point and laugh at her idiocy, and then she decides that that is a targeted harassment campaign. She's a very hinged individual. As far as I understand, she lives in New York, traveled to San Diego for TwitchCon, which is kind of interesting given she recently, well, within the past few months, lost her job, started up a Twitch channel that gets several people to show up to, I think, and then spends all her time on social media yelling at imaginary chuds. I guess that must pay well. But then, yes, got mad when, I went downtown to an arcade. She's a very reasonable person, but apparently she's accusing you of literally physically stalking her now, completely unhinged behavior. Yeah, she's a very hinged individual who's now resorting to, well, just flatly lying about what she's doing for a living. Big shock on that one, but yeah, according to her YouTube channel, She's a freelance games and culture journalist. Really, what kind of, even when, she was doing those big write-ups for Kotaku, okay, running puff pieces for Sweet Baby Inc. at the beginning of last year, wasn't doing a lot of journalism. She was doing a bunch of hit pieces, like infiltrating Discord groups, not corroborating any of her stories and trying to threaten people by leaking messages if they didn't want to offer a rebuttal that sounded good to her. Global Director of DEI Initiatives. Interesting. Twitch.tv/ yeah, you can go there and then you can sign up to her Patreon where you can get ass pictures for $5 a month or something like that. She's a whore. Alyssa, yes, has updated her YouTube channel bio and is now apparently a self-proclaimed freelance games and culture journalist, Global Director of DEI Initiatives. The account has been around since 2011 and currently only has one video listed that was published today. Interesting. The TLDR of her video, to save you a click, is a cut of her Twitch live stream of her shilling hard for the video game industry and why us plebs are not welcome in it like her and her colleagues are. Yeah, exactly. And that right there, I mean, well, it's very much analogous to everything else that she's doing right now. Okay, I don't know what she does on her Twitch streams, but I do know what she's doing outside of the YouTube channel, okay, because she is working in conjunction with Jamal Page, I guess, something like that, to do this documentary, Gaming While Black. Well, Alyssa, I'm sure that's probably her preference, but she herself is not black, so how exactly could she see herself in that experience and extrapolate that out further? I'm just wondering here, but let's see. We got a minute 44 on this production. I mean, hey, we got to be fair to it, right? We got to see the trailer through, and, well, given this is how Alyssa wants to see the future of gaming and what she wants of games journalism moving forward, I think we definitely owe it to her to see this out, right? Right? Of course.
The best ideas come out of not being the same.
There were just like little breadcrumbs along the way of like, oh, wait a minute, there's me in here somewhere. You want people to just recognize that this is important without the extra gasoline on the fire.
I want to
really professional trailer that you only have mono channel sound, I guess, but hey, maybe that's why they're trying to crowdfund this endeavor so that they can get the additional microphone or piece of capture equipment. Anyways,
see more creators that look like me.
There's been a lot of examples of representation of Black people in games that have rubbed me the wrong way.
Oh, right. She said games, but this is like the first time that would ever give you any sort of idea that this is about video games, which it is. It is, by the way, because this is, and now a quick look at our production in progress of our film, Gaming While Black. We're still rolling along with production. Many more city stories and perspectives to be heard from. But yeah, that's interesting, right? Because it's all about gaming while black, but you need to get different perspectives of being black. But if you're presenting being a black gamer as a monolith, why do you have to get different perspectives? It doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't really understand the premise of your documentary, but yeah, you could convince me.
The moment I heard like, oh, we don't want to help you because we don't know that many black folks, I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it myself.
Not a lot of gaming going on. Oh, there we are.
Just because like I happen to be black doesn't mean like get him show like black things, like, oh, like he listens to rap, he likes basketball, like I
That's why we have like a hip hop beat playing underneath of this. We don't need anything that's like specifically black, right? Right, of course. We don't need to be walking down an urban street with several other black people here in order for it to just appeal to blacks, right? Right?
I grew up playing baseball. I love hockey. I'm Canadian. Just make the person great who just happens to be black.
That's kind of our position as well. If you just make a good story, make a compelling game, people are going to play it. There's several examples, especially over the past year, of games from all around the world, from an indie developed game like Balatro overtaking PC gaming to Black Myth Wukong and Stellar Blade from China and Korea, South Korea, respectively, dominating the discourse. 2.6 million concurrent players for Black Myth Wukong, and Stellar Blade being such a success, it's getting a PC release here at the end of the month and getting big crossovers with Nier Automata. So yeah, people from all walks of life are willing to play great games. It's just, I guess it seems like a revelation coming from your side, which is constantly obsessed with identity politics. It's a revelation when you can see outside of your own worldview.
Sometimes to write for Black voices, you need a Black voice behind it.
We stand with the people who work at our studio. We stand with a more diverse industry. We support the concept of a more diverse industry, telling more diverse stories. There's plenty of games out there for you to buy. If you don't like this, don't buy it.
Oh shit. I think that sentiment definitely got borne out this past year. But I'm so glad, Alyssa. I'm so glad that you came around to that very obvious conclusion. I'm so glad. It took you a while to get there, but yep. Now people listened to you. Guess what? And they didn't buy the slop that you were pushing.
I want them to understand that, like, this is for you, like, in a real way.
Gaming while black. Are you excited? I know I'm excited about this, but the thing is, like, it's not even an original title, okay, for something like this. Like, this concept has been around for a while, okay? We can go, full screen on this one. Like, this idea was actually, presented, it had big corporate sponsors. Not too sure what Solid Black is, but Doritos, I mean, hey, if you're going to be doing gaming stuff, you got to get a Dorito sponsorship, and it was at least put on by somebody. I don't know who basically I Do Work is, but Grizzy's very funny, okay? But this was something, yeah, that went down several years ago, July 9th, 2021, was in on and around when this series was coming out. So, yeah, they did Gaming While Black all the way back there with several creators, and, well, that could be a little bit of a problem, okay? And don't know how well this did, but it got 32,000 views. That one issue, okay? This one over here, 293,000 views on this one. Okay, more about Grizzy telling his stories. Okay, cool. But let's see what kind of enthusiasm people have for Gaming While Black, the movie that has e-celebrity Alyssa Mercante lending her credibility to it. Well, it's off to a slow start. Okay, because Black Sparrow Media is organizing this fundraiser, and, well, they got a $5,000 goal, and they're just about there with $370, and well, they had one donation of $200, and the last time they got any money, which, hey, okay, I need to, okay, no, the last time they got any money, at least the time of recording, 2 days ago. Now, I'm recording this Monday evening, so, yeah, it's not going good. It's not going good so far. They got 7%. So hey, 7% is better than 0%. Okay, so they're really trying to get something going. And for somebody who is a freelance DEI initiative specialist, you would think them trying to push this stuff to the modern audience that she dedicates her entire life around, you would think that Alyssa Mercante would be able to drum up something of support. But nope, here's a documentary for the modern audience, and the modern audience is turning out in kind. 5 donations in just about a month. 2024 was the year that woke died. 2025 is the year that it has its funeral and is finally put to rest. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.